Hi, welcome back and making it to episode 4. Wow. So today I'm going to talk about some of the bells and whistles and features and things that you may or may not be using inside my lyric book. So I'm going to choose my lyric book. Whoop, no. There we go. So far we've been talking about how to move files around. Let's see what happens when we get our files up. So I found my file and we can see we've got our back button at the top, our share button at the top. We talked about that last time. Across the bottom in this toolbar, we've got the musical note, which allows us to add a backing track, the metronome, the edit, and the flag. I'll talk about each of, and I'm going to talk about each of those in turn. So if I bring up this note, it'll ask me to select a song. The first time I press it, it'll ask me to select a song. So if I go to playlists, because obviously I have a playlist for my band, and find the appropriate playlist. Might wish set, and this is Amaranth, so I'll find Amaranth in here. Where is it? Oh, there it is. So now it knows that Amaranth is this PDF is selected with Amaranth, the song in iTunes, and when I press that button, it will play that song. It's not working right now because it knows that I'm recording it, and so it won't let me play Apple Music tracks through, but trust me, it works. If you decide that you need to change the songs, for example, you've attached it to the wrong version, we can see choose in iTunes, and it allows me to select a new song. So I can link a song in Lyric Book to a track in iTunes and very quickly play it. Handy for either practicing or running backing tracks. One word of slight caution: if you reformat your iTunes library, when Lyric Book asks for the song from a different iTunes library, it won't be able to find it. iTunes basically gives my Lyric Book a magic token that says, here's how you get this song back again. A different iTunes library won't recognize that, so if you move between iPads, you will need to relink. Second button is the metronome, and if I start running, you can see that you get a flash, and if you're here in the room, you'll get a click, and I can set my tempo. After I've done that, I can stop it by pressing the button, but now if I step it, now that I've set a tempo, it will just flash and click. Again, if you need to change the tempo, you can go to set tempo, and we can have another go at that. Let's stop that. So the third button along the bottom is the edit button, and when we do, it'll slide down and we can put some notes in here. Notes go here, and when we get rid of that, we'll see that the pencil icon goes red to tell us that there is a note. We can check what it is, and if we go back to here, we'll see that that note gets displayed along with the song title. So for example, if a song's in drop D, you can put a note in, and it'll, when you select the song, you'll know it's in drop D. This final icon along the bottom is the flag, and the flag is it's a tag. It's like if you're on a Mac, you can tag files with colors. It is just a tag. So by default, all apps are tagged as white, but red, green, blue. So if I tag it, it's the only thing that happens is that now, whenever that song appears, it's now marked in red. And for example, I could mark these ones in green, Better Without You, Bring Me to Life. It was a request for a general organization feature. Somebody said, hey, I play in 2 different bands. Can I have 2 different libraries? And so if here I've tagged all my Nightwish songs red and my Evanescence songs green. So now if I tap this flag on the all songs list, I say, hey, just show me the red songs, just show me the green songs, just show me the blue songs, show me all the songs. But you can use it for anything you want. All it does is changes the color and allows you to do that filter trick. So for example, let's say you do your gig Saturday night and it's like there's one song that didn't go quite as well as you really think it should have done. Next rehearsal we need to run that, and you get to next rehearsal and everyone's like, there was something we needed to practice, but no one remembers what it is. On the night you can just press the tag button, tag it red, and when you come to rehearsal, anything that's tagged red you need to look at. Similarly, quite often at rehearsal, like, hey, we'll look at this song for next week, and you get home, it's like, you get your gear away, a couple of days later, you're like, right, I need to start looking at the stuff for next week, and then you can't remember again. You can just use it to tag anything you want. Maybe you play 2 different instruments and you need to switch. You can tag your acoustic guitar tracks and your electric guitar tracks, however you want to tag them. So that's my options across the bottom, my options across the top. Now, although these are all really handy, I don't actually need to see them most of the time. So if you just tap, then it disappears. Okay? So we can tap it to make it go away. But it will come back when we move on to the next song. So we can tap it to make it temporarily go away. If you want it to permanently go away, or at least regularly hide, we need to go into settings. So I'm going to go into the settings app and scroll all the way down my lyric book, and we've got a whole load of options. So metronome, by default it clicks and flashes. You can make it just flash, you can make it just click. Disable sleep. Disable sleep is really important. You do not want your iPad going to sleep during a gig. So by default, when you have lyrics on the screen, it will not sleep. It will sleep when it's showing you a set list or the all songs list, because otherwise you end up flat. You're not sleeping. You should sleep. View rotation. Do you want to allow it or not? If you turn this off, what it means is that it means that if you rotate the iPad, it won't change. So if you think there's any chance of your iPad rotating, you can lock that. Allow song deletion, we talked about last time. By default, you can't delete songs, but you can enable it. Require 2-finger swipe. If you find that you're accidentally touching the screen and changing, scrolling to the next song when you don't want to, require 2-finger swipe means you have to swipe with 2 fingers instead of 1. It just makes it a little harder to have an accident. If that's something, if you do find you're a little bit clumsy. Now, the one I'm interested in, full screen lyrics. So if I turn full screen lyrics on and go back, now we can see that they start, instead of starting with the borders and adding, and then we make now by default there's no borders, and we just see the whole lyrics. If I press tap, I get them back. Slightly different way of working, and we can customize that a little bit further. When we say full screen, what do I want to hide? So I can just choose to hide the toolbar at the bottom, or just hide the nav bar at the top, or hide the status bar. I can hide different sets of bits. Generally, hide all is my preference. Scrolling style PDFs and alternative RTF handling. So app, there's several different ways the app used to display various file formats, and we used to have PDFs that scrolled, and we used to have RTFs displayed in a certain way, and we upgraded them. So now PDFs, instead of scrolling, get the nice page turns, which most people find infinitely better, but a couple of people are like, I've got a workflow, you broke my workflow. So we've got the option to switch back to scrolling style PDFs. So if I turn scrolling style PDF, so I bring up a PDF, we can see that we get 2 pages, no page turns. It has a few quirks, and now we can pinch zoom them as well if that's something you're looking for. Although I would say format them the way you want them, so you don't need to pinch zoom. Show next song title. I turn that on, and I go into a set list. Select a song, and bring up, you can see that now the next song appears in the status bar, which might be useful to you. Increase viewability, make some of the lists a little bit larger, messes a bit with the formatting, but if you're struggling to see them. The final sections are to do with external pedals and MIDI. So I'm not going to talk about those today. I'm going to save those for another video. Okay. Thanks for watching.